Yeah.
with health issues, with financial issues,
Yeah.
no social security, no network, nothing. And
Absolutely.
there's a huge wave of that from my generation. They just woke up one day and found out they can't drive bike cabs like they used to,
Yeah.
and they can't do what they used to in their 30s, even in their 40s, but they have no choice but to go somewhere if they have to make it.
And to piggyback on what you are saying, absolutely, we Africans who are out there, whether it's US or wherever you are, and I'll talk about the US because that's where I have about 3 decades of experience. To your point, please remember it is home, no matter for how long, it is
Yeah,
also home.
yeah,
The
yeah,
old country is also home, but this is home where you now live.
yes,
Make sure
yes,
you get your citizenship, your correct papers.
yes,
Register to
yes,
vote. Make sure you have a party that you follow, that you do vote for. You vote for a cause, you vote for
yeah,
candidates. Make sure that you get a job, of course, that will give you retirement of some sort.
yeah,
Social security is a drop in the ocean. You may be paying it, but I tell you, most people can't survive on it. It's very little, but it's
yeah,
good. It's there. It can put some gas in your car for a while. And
yeah,
do what you need to do to acculturate enough there without forgetting the old country, which is home in Africa.
correct.
Yes, that I just add to
And
what you're already saying. Yes.
and I would also add, to the extent possible, if you have the privilege, do not settle. By which I mean, you come into this country and you see how daunting it is to acculturate, and you begin to hang around the edges uh, of the society, doing dishes, riding car, which is all fine, but it should uh, it should be, to the extent possible, really temporary. But there is
Yes,
a danger there. Once you get comfortable with it, your self-esteem goes to a certain space, and you don't want to do anything that's more. I
precisely.
refuse to settle. I refuse
Precisely.
to settle when they will say, my friends will say, go and do dishes. You'll make a lot of money. And when they listen to your accent, they won't hire you. And you're not going to climb up in the, and I remember my first job at this HBCU, and Dr. Wade, who was the president in Tennessee, offered me a teaching job and my pay was $13,000.
Wow.
And I said, Dr. Wade, I am an MBA from Ole Miss. Don't you
Yeah.
understand? And he looks at me and says, son, I'm giving you a foot in the door. Take it.
Wow. True.
You can go stay in the dorms with your students, but don't go stay. So I did, and it was the best thing. So I tell people, find a foot in the door and take it, uh,
Absolutely.
all the time, and you will be just fine. Uh, uh, be be enthusiastic at work, volunteer for things that people don't want to do, and America will take care of you. Um,
Yes.
but always have a focus.
Yes.
Don't. It's very easy to get distracted around here.
Yeah.
But this generation is doing a lot better in that sense than my generation, because they have the tools uh, from home that we didn't have.
Yeah.
When I would speak, people would, it would look me like a masquerade speaking. They would look at me like, "What did he just say in class?" I
I
used to
know.
joke that I used to joke that the teachers would just pass me so I wouldn't come back and terrorize them with my Nigerian way of looking at things. But these kids, they are very very quick on the, uh, and some of them already actually work from Kenya, from Nigeria. Technology allows them to do a lot of things without even moving over here.
Yeah.
But yes, I miss Nigeria. I was just there. I was there about a year ago, this month, and I was embarrassed at how much I missed the place. The food tasted great. The
Yes.
beer tasted like I remembered it,
Yes.
and the friendships were genuine. People were just. I didn't even remember I was black. I was just happy
You
to be
don't have
home.
to. You're in a black
No,
ocean.
I don't have to. Yeah, and I didn't need a whole lot. $100 goes a long way, for God's sake. I
Yes.
was just like, I was like, this. I could live like this. And then when it was time for me to come back, I was just wistful, like, oh, this is rough. Uh, I'd love to come back and spend the rest of my life there because I don't, I'm right here in the U.S. We are surrounded by our clutter. We're surrounded by a lot that we don't need.
Yeah.
Back in Nigeria, I just really didn't need a whole lot. I just needed
Yeah.
a room and a bathroom and reading space. That's all. Um, and the young people now they're doing it. If you go to your children's homes, it's all minimalists.
Yeah.
A couple of a 2 bedroom apartment, one couch.
Yeah.
They don't have cable. They're very spiritual people.
Yes.
Unlike us, we're just materialistic. I think because of the poverty that my generation saw,
Yes.
we are eager not to go back there. So we accumulate a lot of stuff.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about the workplace. As you came up, you've told us a little bit about how this
Yeah.
principal of that college told you, I'm giving you a foot in the door, take it. That was a good thing
Yeah.
to tell you. And then going
Yeah.
forward, how was the workplace, wherever
The
you were?
workplace was a, the workplace was a huge learning experience. A great question, and I am lucky that I survived it. The African coming in to an American workplace is confronted by a cultural paradigm shift in cultures. There are things that I could get away with in Nigeria that definitely would put me in jail here.
Yes.
The things you would say to somebody that will get me in trouble.
Yes.
So I almost think that when immigrants get jobs, that there should be a professional development class that talks about these things,
Yes. Orientation of
not in
some
an
sort.
offensive way. Yeah, you can't grab a woman. You can't say certain things to a woman. You can't use homophobic slurs. You can't do this. You can't do that. And then the ethics. There are ethical issues. Then corruption is not something. It's built into the salary. They just pay you enough so that you don't have to steal.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. And then the context of the things we say, they don't understand it. If I say, "How was your night?" An American might say, "That's none of your business." But
I know.
that's not what that's not what we mean. It's like good morning.
Yes.
Those kinds of things. So uh, I had growing pains trying to be part of the system. Um, but I have to say that in my time there were no ESOL teachers, English for speakers of other language.
Yes.
There were no programs for people like me. My
Yes.
my my ESOL teacher was the TV. I would stay watching sitcoms, watching the Phil Donahue show, all of these things, just to get a sense of the American culture.
Yes.
And it was very helpful. I would go to these places and just watch people. You have to be very observant. You have to listen more than you talk in the
Yeah.
initial period. Just observe uh, your folks, and you will be fine. But if you go in there with a certain level of arrogance, and we all do,
Yes, we do.
you'll learn quickly that this is not going to work out. Uh, the workplace is a lot more informal than the workplace that I left behind in Nigeria. The same thing with the academic space. I've seen lecturers come in the summer with shorts on.
I
That would
know.
not happen in that would not happen in Nigeria. And I've seen
Uh-uh.
students call their teacher, "Hey, Carl, what should I do today?" If you call your professor Carl in Nigeria, by his first name in Nigeria, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
But there's still a level of respect. It may be informal, but there are still boundaries. You
Basic,
have
yes.
to. They're very, very high on boundaries and personal space.
Yes.
So those are things, if I had to set up a consulting firm, those are things I would. That's the kind of
Yes.
firm I would set up to teach people how to survive in the American workspace.
Yes. And also timekeeping.
Timekeeping is a problem. I just went to. I drove. 3-4 hours to a wedding in New Jersey the other day.
Yes.
It was supposed to start at 4. I got there at 4:30. It did not start until 7:30.
I'm not surprised. And then they
Yeah,
find
and
that
people just
we find that
just
acceptable,
people
but
are
that is a no, no.
yeah, yeah. For us, time is an imprecise tool. But
Yes.
for them, time is time. They feel that if you don't show up at when you say, you're not being respectful to them.
Yes, yes.
So that
It's
is
taken
just
very
incredibly
personally.
important.
Yes.
Yeah, they take it incredibly personally. They
Yes.
get very agitated about it. So
Yes.
if you know, so now I mean, I am now that way. If I tell you I'm going to be at your place at 4 o'clock, if I'm not there at 4:05, there is a problem.
Yeah.
You know,
And usually you
I
would
just
explain yourself why you are not there at 4 or
yes,
5.
yes, you will have, yeah, that's the polite thing to do.
Yes.
So time, time is like money to them. And if you
Absolutely.
don't, yeah, if you
And
don't respect it, they won't respect you.
and speaking of money, when you come to work late or you take long lunches, it's a theft in that culture.
Yeah,
You're stealing time,
yeah,
and that is very serious.
yeah. You're still in time. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
nobody sees it that
Uh,
way in this side of the
yeah.
ocean.
And some of that is changing. The time, the work day is becoming fungible because COVID forced us to use technology a lot more than before. So
But still
I
with
don't. Right
explanation.
now,
If you're working from
yeah,
home, your colleagues know you're working from home, right?
yes,
So
yes,
even if it's
yes,
fungible,
yes,
at least there's some explanation to it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah. That plus what I meant was that we are now struggling with the whole notion uh, of respecting workers' personal time away from work,
Yes.
because technology. My last boss would always text me,
Ah.
even at midnight. She
Oh,
would text me.
okay.
Yeah, and if she needed something, boom, boom, boom. Where is this? And so I was I was her chief of staff, and I was fine with that, but I was not fine with her, doing that to other staff, to
Yes,
other
yes.
staff members, because they're younger, they're partying, they're
They
doing
have a
all sorts of
life.
things. I had a lot of time. They have a life. I didn't have a life. I had a lot of time on my hands, and so, but technology has forced that issue. Like, what is uh, there is no longer 9 to 5. It's just like 24/7
Yeah,
for a lot of these knowledge workers, and it's a huge problem.
yeah,
Uh, I now focus more on the product. When I was supervising, I would say, I don't care what you do. You got to give me the product. If
yeah.
I ask you to give me stuff, I want the
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
There's no point coming in 9 o'clock and leaving at 5, and I have
And there are
nothing
no
to. You have
results.
nothing to show
Yeah,
for it. Yeah,
yeah. Absolutely. Hey, when I eat it, we will do this more again, because
sure.
we have the issue of parenting in America, the kids, we broached on that a little bit. We have the
Yeah,
issue of now, okay, you have your retirement, you're thinking of going home, you broach on that a bit. And then we will have the issue of coming home. Maybe not you, somebody will tell us, you have arrived home, how
yeah,
is it happening? Because that's
yeah.
another
Call me
culture
back.
shock.
I'd like to do every one of those, especially the parenting piece.
Yes, yes. Okay, we book you for
Uh,
that.
all right. Take care.
Okay, you take care. This is great. Bye. Okay, bye, everybody. That was Mr. Ihide Roland Ikeloa, a very senior member of the Montgomery County Public Schools, and then for the county's elected members. And now he's retired. And before that, he was a lecturer at a college. I have known Bonahide for, I think 40 years or so. We met in Tennessee when he was doing his first job. He had just come back from Ole Miss, and he has just given us a rundown on how it feels. He is the perfect guy to talk to about how it really feels to be in America, how you arrive, how you go to school, how it feels, how you work, how you make a family, how you raise your children. And now he's retired. He's balancing himself how to come home. So we will have many other people give us their experiences, because not everybody's experience is the same. There are a variety of people with a variety of experiences in different countries, not necessarily only in the US, but even in the US, in the States. So please pause for a minute, like our channel, share this program, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because there's a lot more to come. We are going to give you some rich stuff. Thank you. Bye-bye. Kwaheri. Much love. Bye.